This is going to be fun.
You got your bear grease on?
Our great-grandfather, Elmer Shell, and he wanted to go on a hunting trip with his buddies. So he finally convinces two of his buddies to go on this hunting trip with him. And so they loaded up the dogs in the truck, and the two buddies were very reluctant about going. They did not want to go at all because our grandfather wanted to go and hunt Bailey's Prairie. By that time, the legend was well known that you do not go into Brit Bailey's woods after dark, because Mr. Bailey did not like trespassers, and he was still looking for that lost bottle of whiskey, or moonshine, or liquor at his feet. So they get there, they let the dogs out of the truck, they start heading down the path, and our grandfather, Mr. Elmer Shell, he was kind of falling behind. So the dogs were running up ahead the path, and the two men, his buddies, were with him, heading up the path. The story goes is that somewhere along the path, he sees the lanterns turn back around and are now heading towards him. So at this point, the dogs pass our grandfather up on the path. Boom, heading back towards the truck. Right behind the dogs and on their heels were the two men. Boom. So Granddad, he is quoted to have said, "I wonder who beats who back to the truck." And he decides he's going to turn around. Around that time, though, this orb, this glowing orb, starts down the path towards him. Him, not being a man that's afraid of anything, he decides that he's going to stand his ground and look at this orb, and he's going to prove those jokers and those dogs wrong. That this is nothing to be afraid of. So, as the orb gets closer to him, he starts kind of backing up, and the orb gets right up to him. And now it is glowing right there in front of him. So, at this point, he decides that maybe he should get on back to the truck. So he turns around, and the orb ends up pacing him right next to him. So he picks up the pace, and he's moving down the path, and the orb, no matter how fast he went, stayed right there next to him. By the time Grandfather made it to the road where the truck was parked, the other two guys already loaded up the dogs and are already in the truck with the truck turned around facing back towards Angleton, and were yelling at him to get in the truck. So he shimmied into the truck. The orb stops right at the edge of the woods and stays there until the guys get in the truck and start to move away, and the orb slowly dissipates back into the woods, not to be seen again by those three. That is our tale of Brit Bailey's lights. Stay out of those woods after dark, especially this month, October.
Hey Bill, you ready for a video?
Shit!